What's going on, everyone? Smith here, and Merry Christmas. I hope you all are enjoying your holiday. We're about 2 days out at the time of recording, and I've been enjoying my time away from work. Today, just had to get some last-minute Christmas shopping done, and I actually got to take the bike out. And I haven't been able to ride, or it's been like sporadic the past week or two because it was like raining quite a lot. And I've been busy every weekend, so always having something to do. But this was the first like day off where it's like, oh, I had to do some Christmas shopping, but then take the bike out. I wanted to talk about riding in the winter because although I did ride in the winter last year, this year I was much more prepared. I bought pullover thermal pants. I bought electric heated gloves. I got a ski mask, and I'm basically covered head to toe. I still don't have anything for my feet other than I just layer my socks a bit. But that seems to do the trick. Like, at least for medium-ish length rides, is about an hour, maybe an hour and a half, and then it starts to get chilly. But other than that, I'm completely insulated. Like, I could ride however long it takes, and last year the worst thing for me was by far the pants. Like, I had winter gloves last year. They weren't electric. The electric ones are way better. I would highly recommend them if you're thinking about getting them. Electric over the regular ones any day, because when you start getting in those low 20s, the coldness, it gets through the gloves after riding for a little, especially if you're on the highway. So some heated gloves can really make a difference. But the pants were the biggest source of discomfort for me, by far. It was very unpleasant. And anyone who's ridden in the winter in jeans, like, even if you've got some long johns underneath, it helps a little, but not much. When you get in those below freezing temperatures, you need something a little more capable than that. And that's what I got this year. I got some, like, they're very thick thermal pants, and the wind does not cut through them at all. My legs stay nice and toasty the whole ride. The only thing now is it's just a pain in the neck to get ready every morning. It is such a pain to put on all the gear. I don't mind it once I'm on the road. And that's kind of the funny, like, love-hate relationship I have with riding in the winter. It really is for people who are just passionate about riding, which I am for the most part, because I keep wanting to ride every day. And I get so irritated in the mornings when I'm putting all the gear on. I'm like, I cannot believe I have to do all this. And I feel like the darn Stay Puft Marshmallow Man when I get all the gear put on. I'm very stiff and puffy. But then when you get on the road and you're cruising, it's great. And that's, And of course, I'm passionate about the money I'm saving in gas as well. It's like, for me, it's a bit of both. I really like riding, and it's really nice to just spend like $7 a week on gas. So it's kind of hard to beat. And it's just so much better getting through traffic and parking and all the. I digress. But if you were thinking about riding in the winter, just recognize that you're going to need a lot of gear, and it's going to be a pain in the neck getting all the gear on. And also, probably the biggest source of frustration throughout all the winter for me is the gloves. I cannot stand. I've tried multiple different kinds of gloves, but you are just not very dexterous with winter gloves. They're too fluffy. It's hard to work the throttle and the clutch. Well, not so much the throttle, more so the clutch, because the friction zone's moving around because you're dang puffy gloves. And then I got my headset, and I'm like trying to push buttons on my headset. I can't even feel what I'm pushing. I just kind of try to figure out where I'm at, but based on what I remember, and I can usually hit the right button, but it just feels like I'm not doing it correctly, and it's irritating. So that is probably the biggest source of irritation when it comes to winter riding, is just having to deal with the gloves. once you get used to it, it's easy working the throttle and clutch and everything with the winter gloves on, but it takes some adjusting every time I switch from my regular gloves to these thicker ones. If you're like me and your motorcycle is your basically secondary vehicle, like if for whatever reason your primary vehicle broke down and you need to take the bike, I would highly recommend having winter gear in that event. Just in case of that event. Say you don't typically want to ride, maybe you want to ride once in a while in the winter, I would recommend getting winter gear if your alternate vehicle is your bike, because that can really come in handy in a pinch. If your main vehicle isn't starting for whatever reason and it's freezing out and it's like you don't have any winter gear, it's like, well, then you can't take the bike. You will not last very well out there, depending on how far you have to go, I should say. You can, I've managed, a couple 10, 20-minute rides that have been thoroughly unpleasant. It's doable, I will say, but not recommended. Yeah, stay on the road too long without proper, particularly gloves on, and I mean just gear more broadly, but in freezing temperatures without proper gloves on, you'll get frostbite real quick. It will not take long. So definitely be careful of that. And get proper gear. If you want to ride in the winter, get the proper gear. Once you have it, it's actually not, it's just, the hassle is getting dressed. It's a pain. But once you get on there, I mean, you're basically set. The other drawback is, whenever you arrive anywhere, you better hope that you're not doing a lot of physical activity before you get changed out all your riding gear, because when I get to work, unfortunately for me, my office is like on the other side of the building from the entrance, so I have to walk quite a ways to get to my office, and by the time I reach my office, I've still got all my riding gear on. I am sweating, even if it's like 20 degrees out. Now, I feel good for about half the walk. I'm like, this is great. I'm nice and toasty and everything, but that other half, I'm like, okay, can I get and changed and everything now? Holy smokes. So, that's another thing to be careful of. I wouldn't recommend doing a lot of shopping or something while you're wearing all your winter gear, because you will work up a sweat real quick. And not that people typically do a lot of shopping while they're on their bikes, but sometimes, you're in a store, you're looking for something, you can't find it, you're walking around. Just recognize, walking around is going to heat you up pretty quick, and you're already real toasty in that, in all that winter gear. Other than that, it's nothing but a thing riding in the winter. Be a little careful of ice on the roads. I never really see much ice on the roads, but I don't ride when it rains and it's cold out. So, rain or snow or anything like that, I'm not riding. I'm not going to take any chances with that. Too much of a risk. And it's already cold during the summer when you're riding in the rain. I can't imagine how much colder it would be if it's like in the 40s. Or the 30s, and you're riding in the rain. You probably get so cold so fast. Well, as I said, I would only recommend winter riding to people who are really passionate about riding, but as long as you have the proper gear, it is most certainly doable. The other thing to watch out for is your visor fog mount. That can be a real problem. Get you one of those anti-fog stickers for the inside of your visor. For sure, you're going to be needing that. And even still, if it's cold enough out, you might still have some trouble with visibility on the visor. So be aware of that. But that's going to do it for me. Just a little quick winter riding and, what winter riding has been like video before Christmas. So stay safe out there. I'll see you in the next one. And have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Take care.